Welcome to part 3 and the final part, you'll be glad to hear, of my argument about the next generation. This is the 360 part. Now, I'm not going to complain about the price. The console is reasonably priced. You can get it for pretty cheap nowadays. The accessories, however, are not very cheaply priced at all, but Microsoft do have to make some profit somewhere. And unfortunately, because they are hemorrhaging billions from the Xbox project, it just happens to be increasing the price of all their accessories. Now, it's not going to be Xbox Live either. I mean, it's full of little racist 7-year-olds who constantly run their mouths, but you can't help that. That's just the internet being anonymous. And you see the same problem with YouTube and MySpace, with people just spamming it with comments that are just usually filled with horrible language and just insults I just don't like at all, and there's no need for. And if you do leave that sort of stuff in my videos, you will be deleted and blocked. I'm sorry, but it's a no tolerance policy. Now, what I am going to complain about is the games themselves. Now, there's not a big jump from the Xbox to the 360. A lot of the key first-party titles like Halo 3 and Forza Motorsport, they're just the same games, but with more shaders, some slightly more polygons, and anti-aliasing. Now, whilst they do look good, they are not the generational jump that we had with, say, for instance, with the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2. Now, unfortunately, I'm not very impressed with the 360 games at all on any ground. Gears of War, while it does look good, it doesn't play so great, and it's far too short to be considered a game worth 40-50 quid. Just to me, it is essentially a trilogy now, and I think that's what they were gearing up for. I think Cliffy B did slightly pull the wool over our eyes, and they are no doubt creating a sequel right now, and Microsoft are insisting on charging for extra content. Not very nice. I hate extra content, and I hate having to pay for it as well. It kind of diminishes the point of paying your 45 quid for the game up front anyway. Main problem being things like Oblivion, where you pay for horse armour and stuff a day after it's out. It's just stupid. Now, another point with the games I find as well is that they're all quite similar to some certain degree. There isn't a lot of racing games or platformers or anything. There are a fair few, but there's not that much variety in the games. You have a few RPGs, the standard Japanese RPGs essentially as they're known online. Things like Trusty Bell and Blue Dragon, which while they can be quite good, they don't have the same name power for me as something developed by Level 5 or Final Fantasy, for instance. I prefer those type of games. I mean, they might be good, I don't know, but currently don't look as good as White Knight Story on a PlayStation 3, for instance. And when I say look, I mean the whole package of looks, sounds, gameplay, innovation, that sort of thing, not just they look fantastic. Which in the case of Blue Dragon, it does look great if you like that style of art. I don't really, I can't stand Dragon Ball Z, that sort of thing, because of the artwork for most cases. Now, another big issue is the amount of sci-fi games where you play essentially a space marine defeating aliens is horrible. It's far too much. In big cases like you got Mass Effect, you got Halo, you got Gears of War, the list goes on and on. It's ridiculous. I mean, there should be some variety in the settings. I mean, granted, it's not as bad as the amount of World War II games there was a few years ago, where it's just oversaturation, but right now I'm sick of playing nameless marines with no personality and whose only catchphrase is, "Let's kick some arse," essentially. Now, another big problem I have with the 360 as well is technical failures. The amount of Xboxes that must have broken down now and they've had to replace is a stupid amount. That's the main reason stopping me from buying one, is I don't want my console to break down during guarantee, or as a lot of them finding out 13 months after, just after guarantee in the UK, a lot of them broke down. That's a bit disgraceful, and it sort of does clamber to the point of the Xbox was rushed to the market earlier on in 2005, where they were pushing to get out first, which worked for now. The Wii's catching up in sales, though, unfortunately, really, really fast. So it looks like their number one marketplace is going to come tumbling down pretty soon. That concludes my argument, essentially. So, as I've concluded, I don't want any other consoles. They're all pretty flawed at the moment. The games are not that good. I'm sorry to say, but next generation is not worth a single penny in my mind. This is Josh, over and out. I'd like to hear your comments.